My name is Murphy-Shifflet. I am 23. I like to go for long walks on beach. I love to dress up.
We didn't notice anything was wrong with her birth or anything like that. Everything was normal. And later on, I used to take her to daycare, and I found out that after a period of time, she wasn't meeting what the other kids were doing.
6 months, she was still lagging terribly behind, unable to sit up, unable to roll over. And that's when he agreed with us that something wasn't right. And so for 3 years, we searched for a diagnosis.
My name is Murphy-Shifflet. I am 23. I have Rett syndrome.
Rett syndrome was only diagnosed with symptoms at that point. There was no blood test available. So we were sent to Kennedy Krieger and met with an expert there who said, yep, I think you're right. This does look like Rett syndrome, and your life is going to change. And it can vary from a child who may be able to walk to a child who will never walk, to a child who may be able to eat on her own, to a child who may need a G-tube. To a child who may have seizures constant, to a child who may not. So what you're hearing is that there was a wide range of what her life could be, and we suddenly had to deal with the unknown.
1 in 10,000 girls are diagnosed each year. Not all of us are the same.
I'm Jeanette Foster. I'm a pulmonologist and I help take care of her respiratory infections. Today's is just kind of a check-in. There's been some issues in the past few months with the gurglings that I had been in contact with her primary care physician about.
Okay.
And one of the things I wanted to check up on is how is that resolved. Yes, this is a CAT scan of her chest. And one of the issues with her lungs is the shape of her chest cavity, where the scoliosis and the deformity of the chest cavity actually changes the shape and direction of the airways, making a natural drainage of mucus more difficult. And it just sets her up to turn a mild little infection into something really severe. And that's one of the reasons why she needs to have such close follow-ups.
My name's Christina Bowser. I'm an RN, and I'm Emily's day shift nurse. I arrive at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Emily is just starting to wake up for the day. Her mom or dad gets her up into the bathroom, and I do her daily care and her mouth care and care to her Mickey tube. I can say it's a joy working with Emily every day. She is a wonderful young lady. Even though she's nonverbal, she's very intelligent, and there's more going on up in that head of hers than what people give her credit for.
I have something to tell you. I can't walk, but I can win a wheelchair race. I like to look up tattoos, jewelry, and cute animals on Pinterest. I can understand what you are saying, so just wait for my response.
You ready to get up? Oop, I lost the syringe. There it is. Let me get you. Yes. Okay. Let me double check that. You ready to get out of bed?
No.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. All right. We'll get you up.
Her typical day, every day is different for Emily. She has music. She has Toby. She goes to yoga. Every Monday now for 5 weeks she went to ice skating. She goes to Hershey Bears hockey games.
It's just become part of our lives. It is pretty nonstop. But in there we try to squeeze in some fun things. And we just do things. I mean, people watch us as we hook her up with her feeding pump, and I see them looking, and at first I was a little uncomfortable with it, and now I'm like, this is how she eats.
She's like a little puppy. She'd sooner sit in a car than sit here at home. I often said if she gets mad, I just put her in a car and we drive around the block and she was all happy.
Do you want to sing to me? I think so. Here we go. Ready? Hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, how do you do?
Hello, Sarah.
Hello to Sarah. Hello, how do you do?
Hello, Sarah.
We're here in
Hello,
music today. And it's good to see you. Good shaking.
But she likes to tell jokes too. She is definitely an extrovert in a body that doesn't allow her to fully do that, which it's been interesting to see how she brings people in. She'll just stare at you, and then the eyebrows will go up. Helps if you're male too.
Did you find me any single guys yet? Moms, lock up your boys. I am available.
And what we've learned through all of that is that Emily has a wonderful sense of humor. She is very Nixie. Nixie is a Pennsylvania Dutch term meaning she's a little troublemaker.
I like to mess with the principal.
So they pulled her out of the room and said, you need to take this test. And she just refused to. She was crossing her eyes and doing raspberries and just being, honestly, a jerk. And her teacher said, listen, you got to straighten up, because if you don't straighten up, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to go down to the principal's office. Well, I guess she thought, yeah, right. Well, yeah, right happened. I then had to come in and have a discussion with her and said she needed to straighten out. And she looked at me and said, she started to laugh. And I had to leave the room because I was laughing. So I was just pleased that my kid got in trouble because that was something normal.
I was with regular education classes. I was a cheerleader at Central Delphin. We had wheelchair races down the hallway, but don't tell the principal.
My money's that Em's gonna win.
If I grab I'll take her.
And he'd be playing the piano, she'd be sitting there watching him and just taking it all in. Yeah, and the jazz band, she liked the jazz band because that was a lot of fast moving music, and she was into the jazz band. She had art too. She liked art for some reason.
When she started creating on the Toby, we said, wow, we could make note cards with this and family would like them. We originally created the cards as holiday gifts for family and friends. They were well received. When we posted something about her being creative and how she's using her Toby to do more than just communicate, but to create, people said, I want note cards too. We sold 50 packs of cards immediately. We sold out, and so we're into the second printing of them. And so a portion of those, the profit will go to the Rett Research Trust Foundation or Fund, in the hopes that it'll be just a little bit of money, but then she is giving back to the community that is working so hard to find a cure. Emily uses her eyes to create. So Emily will be a little teacher sometime in the fall, and she will show students and possibly their parents how she creates her cards or her artwork using her eyes. Just because she can't talk or use her hands, she still can be very creative. And that's what we want to get across to the students and to the community, that there's a lot going on in that little head. And she's creative like her mother.
My name is Murphy-Shifflet. I am 23. I am an artist. And I am an educator.
What we learned along the way is that the best healers did the following. They listened, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Do your best, if only for a moment, to turn off your head. Sit down and engage in a conversation with me. Get to know me. Make yourself vulnerable by trying to walk in our shoes.
Hello, Sarah.
Remember, we are more than a number or test result. We are your teachers, your parents, your neighbors, your classmates, and your future.
There you go. Are you shaking? Thank you.